We'll be invoking the Defense Production Act just in case we need it.
Why do you keep calling this the Chinese virus? There are reports of dozens of incidents of bias against Chinese Americans in this country. Your own aide, Secretary Azar, says he does not use this term. He says ethnicity does not cause the virus. Why do you keep using this? A lot of people say it's racist.
It's not racist at all, no, not at all. It comes from China. That's why. It comes from China. I want to be accurate. Yeah, please, John, please.
The aides behind you. Are you comfortable with this term?
I have great love for all of the people from our country, but as you know, China tried to say at one point, maybe they stopped now, that it was caused by American soldiers. That can't happen. It's not going to happen, not as long as I'm president. It comes from China. John, please.
There are some, at least one White House official, who used the term Kung flu, referring to the fact that this virus started in China. Is that acceptable? Is it wrong? Are you worried that having this virus be talked about as a Chinese virus, that might...
I wonder who said that. You know who said that?
I'm not sure the person's name, but would you condemn the fact...
Say the term again.
A person at the White House used the term Kung flu. My question is, do you think that's wrong? Kung flu. And do you think using the term Chinese virus, that puts Asian Americans at risk, that people might target them?
No, not at all. I think they probably would agree with it 100%. It comes from China. There's nothing not to agree with. Okay.
Almost 2 years later, after the shutdown of Army Lab, we are again here at Fort Detrick. A small one-man operation airport opened in the area of Frederick, Maryland in 1938 is now a sprawling campus of brick government buildings outside Frederick, Maryland, located an hour's drive north of Washington, D.C. On its premises was a lab running where scientists developed germ weapons, vaccines, drugs, diagnostics. The first hot scandal broke out in 1968 when in the state of Utah were tested bombs with brucellosis, a bacterium that can lead to fever and influenza-like sickness. In August 2019, its deadly germ research operations were abruptly shut down following serious safety violations, in particular relating to the disposal of dangerous materials. Although many projects are on hold now, scientists and other employees are continuing to work.
Now I'm at the Green Spring Village, close to the senior home, just 10 miles from the U.S. capital, Washington, D.C. According to the Washington Post article, it was here where 5 residents have died following an outbreak of respiratory illness that began in the summer 2019. The complex includes a fairly huge area, and this is the home for many elderly people in America. We tried to get in and talk to the residents, but we have seen the fence. They got at the checkpoint and the gate on our way. The access to the Green Spring territory must be approved by administration, or someone who lives here may let you in. We sent a letter to the Green Spring administration with a request to allow us to visit the place, having explained that we make a short news coverage about the life of the Green Spring Village community. However, our request request was declined because they were not interested to participate at this time. Moving forward, we were able to find an elderly couple living in this community and tried interviewing them directly. After they had heard about the questions, they immediately declined to comment on this topic. Then we reached out to an expert living near the Green Spring village looking for his comments on this topic. But even then, the denial was watching for us.
Military glory.
军人荣耀，
军人荣耀。
世界和平，
World peace.
By Dr. Caitlin Rivers.
As you've just heard, the outbreak is very worrisome. The vast majority of cases are occurring in Brazil and other South American countries. However, as you can see on the screen, there have been some spread to Portugal, the continental United States, and mainland China. Our models project that with continued spread in Latin America and predicted spread to additional countries, we could be looking at double the number of cases in 1 week and 16 times as many in a month if we are not able to stop the spread. That would be on the order of 500,000 cases, and it would continue to rise exponentially. In 3 months, we could be approaching 10 million cases. We are also tracking financial markets as an indicator of the economic impacts of caps. While markets are down worldwide in the past couple of weeks, they are still positive for the year.
Thank you, Dr. Rivers. The first emerging policy crisis for which we need this board's recommendations regards global allocation and distribution of medical countermeasures. And by medical countermeasures, we mean vaccines, drugs, and diagnostics and other medical supplies to help us combat the CAPS pandemic. I know we would all agree that if we had a vaccine in hand for CAPS, it'd be a game changer. But leading vaccine experts say a vaccine in the near term is highly unlikely. But there is an antiviral that does look like it will work. And to understand that better...
Μία πρόσφατη μελέτη του Πανεπιστημίου του Εδιμβούργου ισχυρίζεται ότι ο COVID-19 δεν προήλθε από το Ουχάν της Κίνας. Σε μια μελέτη που δημοσιεύθηκε στις 7 Μαΐου συμμετείχαν ερευνητές από 20 ιδρύματα σε όλες τις ΗΠΑ, την Ευρώπη και την Ασία, συμπεριλαμβανομένης της Κίνας. Η νέα μελέτη αμφισβήτησε τη «θεωρία της διαρροής εργαστήριο» του Προέδρου των ΗΠΑ Ντόναλντ Τραμπ. Οι ερευνητές ανέλυσαν 167 γονιδιώματα κορονοϊού νυχτερίδας και εντόπισαν την προέλευση του ιού σε πληθυσμούς νυχτερίδων στο βόρειο Λάος και την επαρχία Γιουνάν της νοτιοδυτικής Κίνας. Οι ερευνητές εξετάζουν γονιδιώματα σαρβεκοϊών και κορονοϊού που μπορούν να προκαλέσουν αναπνευστικές ασθένειες. Αυτό περιελάμβανε τον SARS-CoV-2 που προκάλεσε την πανδημία COVID-19. Μέσω του πολέμου δασμών με την Κίνα, ο Τραμπ επανέφερε την αμφιλεγόμενη θεωρία της διαρροής σε εργαστήριο. Οι ΗΠΑ τόνισαν τον ισχυρισμό τους κατά της Κίνας λανσάροντας έναν ιστότοπο. Ο ιστότοπος επέκρινε κυρίως την εγγύς προέλευση του SARS-CoV-2, μια μελέτη κατά της θεωρίας της διαρροής σε εργαστήριο. Ο ιστότοπος ισχυρίστηκε επίσης ότι ο COVID-19 έχει βιολογικά στοιχεία που δεν βρίσκονται συνήθως στη φύση.
I'll add one provocative statement We could take it up later. It may shock you or not shock you, or you may say, I already know that, Professor Sachs. But I chaired a commission for The Lancet for 2 years on COVID. I'm pretty convinced it came out of US lab biotechnology, not out of nature. Just to mention, after 2 years of intensive work on this. So it's a blunder, in my view, of biotech, not an accident of a natural spillover. We don't know for sure, I should be absolutely clear. But there's enough evidence that it should be looked into, and it's not being investigated. Not in the United States, not anywhere. And I think for real reasons, that they don't want to look underneath the
Εδώ Πεκίνο, Κίνα.